etc., all destroyed as we speak. Anthony Brian Opoku is joining us live now. Just look at the scene on the ground there.
Oh, wow.
These are ballot papers. Were they tampered already? People had exercised their franchise and all that now gone to waste? Okay, let's bring Brian in. Brian, what can you report? What are we looking at on our screens? I see ballot papers strewn all over the ground. Please unmute for me. Please unmute for me. Okay, we'll try and fix that. Can you hear me, Brian? Okay, we'll fix that.
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Great. I'm watching videos now, and I see what looks like ballot papers all over on the green grass. What can you tell us about that? I understand that collation has stopped, halted.
Yes, actually collated, halted yesterday, and all those you are seeing are actually ballot papers which was tam-printed. So yes, yesterday there was an incident where the EC officers were doing their returns with the ballot. So there came the crowd, which they were very agitated, and they said that they were taking a lot of time in doing the collating. So they were breaking louver blades, throwing in stones into the collation center. So it got to a scene that tempers were really rising up and they were losing out of control. So it took the military men to come in, and they had to escort the EC officials out from the collation center with heavy, with warning shots and all. So then came the crowd inside the collation center, and they started vandalizing items.
Okay, so that's a story there in Ahafo Ano North. So as we speak this morning, I nearly said tonight, as we speak this morning, what's the situation? Everybody's gone, halted. Is there any sign of security on the ground that this may be restarted, the EC taking a decision on what to do?
No, yesterday, because of what happened, I had to rush back to my hotel room, and this morning, seeing some of the officials, they were actually shaking. And from what I'm seeing and from the atmosphere, collation is not going to start any moment soon. Collations has been halted here at the Ahafo Ano North, but because looking at the collations, what has happened there, all their gadgets, all logistics has been vandalized. So I think that if even collation is going to continue, we might be needing some logistics on board again.
Thank you for the great work, and thank you for helping us get the story. And we'll come back to you if there are any further developments. What we want to do now is check with the Electoral Commission headquarters how they plan to handle this. And I'm curious something. Is there anything in the law that guides us when something like that happens? Obviously, the ballots have been destroyed, strewn all over the ground. You can't use it. The EC will have to take a decision what to do. And this, forgive me something, you answer that question whilst we try and deal with this Electoral Commission matter.
What has to happen is we have to know if these ballots are ballots that have not been counted.
True.
If they have been counted and properly recorded, then there will be the Form 8, okay, which would have been already signed.
They've been accounted for.
They've been accounted for. And they would have been signed, endorsed by the party agents. And remember, we had to do a little change to the law, where even if the agent refuses to endorse what they have to endorse, it does not invalidate their vote. It does not invalidate the pink sheet, so to speak, because of the problems we faced in 2012.
Yeah.
Right. So if that has been done, then this will be of no use. But if that has not been done, but I doubt that that would not have been done, because this was at the Collation Center.
Yeah.
So they moved from, they had been declared already. They had been declared already at the polling centers, polling stations. So they will have the...
Except that if I wanted you to count it again, and at the point where I requested that could be done at the Collation Center, and they just brought the ballot boxes in there and they be finally destroyed, my request for you to count again becomes problematic.
Right.
Because you need the original papers to actually count. And that's where the difficulty is.
So when you make the request for the first count,
True.
It's done at the polling station for you. If you make a second request, you are likely to have it done at the Collation Center. And that may pose a problem. If there is that request pending, that may pose a problem.
And guys, I want to highlight something. This is Ahafo Ano North. Remember what I said, that in Ashanti region, they have what I call the western threat on this side of the geographic area there. And this is one of the areas that is part of that western threat that they were, and MDC has been looking at very keenly in terms of, can we take it back? And I said that NDC was working very hard. And this is the area. This here includes Ahafo Ano North, Ahafo Ano Southwest, Echima and Ponia, or this area here, are all up for grabs as far as the NDC is concerned.
And if you add it to their brothers in the Farm Plains, there's something they have in common. These are places with a significant proportion of the population also being settler communities. They are places that they have a tendency to flip. And sometimes the difference, the winning difference even for the MPP is very small. Like, for example, I mean, of course, Suleiman A. Sanid, who was deputy ranking on the local government committee in Parliament, is no longer going back to Parliament anyway. He's not contesting again. But he won with a little less than 3,000 votes.
Yeah, barely.
Yes, because 21,000 against 19,000. And yes, a little less than 3,000 votes. And 50.7%. That was not necessarily a safe seat. Safe seats don't present this kind of challenge for you. They actually give you a massive enough voting within the space so that you can maneuver. Even if you are losing 2 percentage points, you still stay within a safe zone. But in this case, 50.7, it's quite problematic. But I was expecting, frankly, that the MPP will hold on to
winning.
Yes,
but
hold on to a
seat, but not with the tsunami that is sweeping this year. And remember that I actually said that we're seeing a potential this year in the Ashanti region when the NDC goes home with more than 4 seats. Coming to 2024, they were holding to 4 seats. And
when you combine it with the massive threat of independent candidates, one already winning, that's chipping away the number of seats that the MPP has held very safely in its stronghold.
And just a second though, so you're making a very important point that tonight, as we speak in the Ashanti region, the MPP has already lost 1 seat that they were holding from the 2020 election.
A seat which is supposed to be safe and protected.
Before it lost 1 seat.
And you see, if you juxtapose that with the threat the NPP is faced in the Greater Accra region, when it comes to, and if you go to the Okaikwe Central Constituency,
and the massive differences within when the NDC wins.
What would happen, like I told you, is the situation where absolute majority. Absolute majority. And do not be surprised if, for the first time, you have a party with 2/3 in Ghana's parliament.
Oh, really? An outright 2/3?
Yes. And they can do anything they want.